Hello, this is Matthew Kenslow, author to the book Struggling the Issues and Unstoppable about navigating this life with autism, a condition that I've never asked for, by making the best of it and encouraging people along the journey. This video is more or less an updated modification of a video that I made in 2020. I kind of wanted to amend my videos from 2020, but I was also motivated to make this video based on a comment that I recently got, politely telling me that I made something sound like it wasn't. This video is to bring clarification between when we are bullied or teased based on how we look or how we sound, which is negative judgment, and constructive criticism, which is positive judgment, and to let everyone know that I know the difference and to tell everyone what I believe the difference is. In fact, I have a sub-series in my Autism Awareness and Acceptance playlist on YouTube titled How We Autistics Could Interpret or Misconstrue Those Around Us in the Neighborhood. Regardless of the feedback that we're given, whether positive or negative, whether we show or express it or not, we could easily feel offended or put down sometimes. For the latter, I already have tons of videos out there on YouTube and social media, as well as many pages in both my books articulating what it's like to feel judged based on autism and things we can't handle. That is being discriminated, i.e. negative judgment. And for the rest of this video, I want to talk about positive judgment, i.e. constructive criticism, and how we take it. Now, I can't speak for everybody, but I can speak on my perspective. But throughout my life, it took me several years till I realized the difference between people, constructively criticizing me and actually being mean to me and thinking that my ideas were worthless. And so it took several years for me to come to terms with accepting constructive criticism, whereas I would misconstrue it as maybe like a negative judgment. And I have many stories where people literally thought that my ideas were dumb and let me know that, but I'm going to spare those stories because I'm going to give an example or two about times when I literally received positive feedback, even though I may have not wanted to hear it. And one happened back circa 2013. I was at St. Andrew's Presbyterian Church practicing the piano after church, and the piano player came over to me, and we were friends, and I was playing, and I thought I was playing very good, and I wanted to get into the band and everything, and the piano player said, "You want a tip?" I'm like, "Sure." And then she taught me how to use the pedal. And that wasn't the first person at St. Andrew's Presbyterian who noticed that I wasn't using the sustain pedal properly. But that I had to learn and I had to accept that tip, and I'm very glad that I did. And I've received other musical tips, in fact, even in the present day. So now I play for a band the past couple of years at my church. And there was one Sunday when the drummer said, "Mr. Matthew, can I speak with you for a moment?" And he kindly let me know that I need to keep time because I'm used to playing by myself and playing solos, but I haven't really practiced with a drum beat, i.e. metronome. And even before that, there was another person at another church that kind of told me the same thing. But because I practiced and took their advice, I feel like I'm a better piano player today, especially playing with other instruments and vocalists too. So those were just musical examples, but others could include like art projects. Like there's people that critique me on my art, even those are projects that I spent hours and hours and hours on. However, the feelings of being let down lingered in the background, endeavoring to drop my heart and discourage me. And I felt such discouragement perhaps because I felt like I failed myself in some odd sense. Perhaps I didn't self-teach myself correctly, or maybe that my ideas were horrible when I believed that they weren't horrible, or at least in part. Or that I was failing other people who did give me advice and I tried to implement their advice, and then another person came along and suggested the same advice. And one final thing, the number one person who probably gives me the most amount of judgment is myself. As I've said in other YouTube videos, and I believe in my second book, I am my biggest critic. Even though a lot of people don't catch everything that I catch, I can still give myself a very hard time. And that form of self-assessment helps me in a way, but other times it just pains me because when I'm playing piano and I hit the wrong note, sometimes they don't even notice because I play through it. Or if I'm speaking and I forgot a line or a word that I wanted to say, no one else notices it, but I do because, well, I wrote it or I know how the music is supposed to be played. So I could put a lot of unnecessary stress on me. Again, to them, it may seem perfect, it usually sounds perfect, but to me, it wasn't perfect. And as an autistic, I'm usually a perfectionist. But sometimes I learn in life that you have to slow down, breathe, and give yourself a chance and say, not everything has to be perfect. So don't let any of that get you down, and you don't have to be perfect. And I came to terms with that, and I hope that everybody else does too. In conclusion, now since I have empathy, not just sympathy, over this matter, whenever I'm talking to someone and offering a critique or a suggestion, whether I'm teaching students as a substitute teacher or tutoring, or if I'm mentoring boys at Royal Rangers or talking to my fellow commanders at Royal Rangers, or whoever it is that I'm talking to, I take a very soft approach, complimenting them on previous ideas that they have, and then just imply that if you don't want to take my suggestion, that's okay, but this is just my suggestion. And it's not meant to be some form of negative judgment, but, positive judgment. And so that's my modified video about autism and judgment. Thank you for watching this video, and as always, feel free to leave a comment down below if you have any perspective on the matter and you want to interject your experiences, or if you have any questions about autism that you want me to answer. I might already have a video made, or it might be an idea for a future video. Or if you have any future topics, please let me know too. And have a great day.